Good morning. It's 7 o'clock in the morning on Friday, January 15th, and I am up starting my exercise. I have already prayed, already read my Bible. I have read a chapter out of the T.D. Jakes' Destiny book, chapter 5, and now I'm exercising. So this is the 5th day this week, starting at Monday, that I have been doing all of those. I made a commitment to do yoga every day, but this week I'm doing treadmill first and yoga. Been trying to do at least a mile on the treadmill because I woke up so early this morning and I have more time. I think I don't want to run. I think I just want to walk today, or at least while I'm doing this video blog, I just want to walk, but I may go further than a mile. Maybe I'll do 2 miles and then go do yoga, so we will see. So what do I have to talk about today? I think I want to talk about just the fact that I'm so happy that I have not allowed myself to get bogged down with stress or anxiety, especially since we're in the middle of the pandemic. We are 10 months into a pandemic. That means 10 months of somewhat isolation, right? We're limited on who we can be around, who we can see, who we can interact with. And the closer we get to getting through the pandemic, the more important it seems to be able to isolate even more. So I'm happy I have these outlets, and that this whole entire time I've given myself some type of outlet, something to focus on, some goal that I have, that I'm working towards, some project that I've had, and even to a certain extent, those projects may be related to people, but there's just been a lot that has happened over the past 10 months that's been hard and stressful and uncomfortable, and I'm just very thankful that I have developed good, healthy habits to cope through those situations. It's definitely not something that I want to take for granted, because I don't know, it took a while to master those. Last night, I was having all kind of crazy dreams, and it was just hard to sleep. And I was kind of tossing and turning, and got up this morning. So I've really been up since like 3, but I wasn't going to get up and get out of the bed. And I started to look through, a bunch of pictures, because I'm pretty fanatical, I would say, about taking pictures and videos and just capturing kind of what's going on in my life. Not necessarily that great about putting them in any order and chronicling them, or I don't know, I should say that this year it's day 15, and I've done a good job of making a post every day on my YouTube channel, which is what I had set out to do last year, starting with my birthday in July. But my dad had a stroke, and I had other things that just were taking my attention, and so I didn't do that. And when I thought about it today, I was like feeling a little bit guilty, but then I went through all these pictures and videos that I had, and I realized what I had been doing. Well, I hadn't been doing these posts where I'm actually having a conversation and really saying what I think about things or sharing what's actually going on with me from day to day in more detail, I did do a lot of posts that I put like on Facebook and Instagram that were just stories. So if I went on a long ride, I was kind of chronicling the exercise that I did. And as my dad was making progress in his recovery, I was taking some videos of him, with different milestones that he had, cheering him on, that type of things, that maybe I had sent to people in my family that cared about them, or maybe posted on Facebook, but I didn't, include them as the journaling that I had kind of committed to doing. So this morning, I was like, you know what? I'm going to organize these and I'm going to start posting them to my YouTube channel. And so I went through a ton of videos, and it was really nice to see, kind of like the goals that I had set for myself, and kind of the things that I was doing that were really very good for me physically, but that also helped me kind of mentally, emotionally, spiritually, dealing with things that were very hard and that would have been very emotionally have been very much an emotional strain on me had I not done them. So I've got videos where it's like, oh, I took a 10-mile ride, and then the next day it's like, oh, I did a 15-mile ride, and another day I did a 22-mile ride. I got up to 40. I think maybe I got up to like 47 miles or something that I rode. I shared videos of, kind of how I was feeling, what was going on when my dad first had his stroke. I had videos of him in the hospital that kind of showed kind of how the stroke impacted him initially, how limited his mobility was. Had videos of, when his physical therapist called when he was in the skilled nursing facility, at a time when he was kind of miserable because nobody could come and see him, and we were kind of stressed out because we couldn't go see him. We didn't know what was going on with him. And, the physical therapist called to say how awesome he was and how well he was doing, and kind of the what a great spirit he had and how motivated he was. And it was just so wonderful. And in this video, I'm like crying, and but it was tears of joy. And to be able to look at that and to see the progression and to see how far he's come, and to see where I am in my life and my own journey, it just makes me very thankful. And it also, it just speaks a volume to the value of chronicling your journey along the way, because you could be in a really tough spot today and just think, oh, woe is me, and then go out a little bit further and just see, the benefits of all your hard work that you put in, and to see how rewarding it is. So it's been nice, and that I find is very much a motivator for me as well. The other thing that it does, especially from looking at things from on a video, or looking at pictures, is because sometimes we can have these impressions of our situation, our circumstance, or even, kind of how we look, and we believe certain things about ourselves and we let these negative thoughts come in our head, and how we see ourselves and the criticisms that we have of ourselves and our insecurities aren't necessarily what other people see. And so when you can look at a video or you can look at a picture of yourself in the past, you can remember, or I can remember, how I was feeling about myself and what my insecurities were. And I can look back and I'm like, why did I think that? You know, so I will admit that I have, for a long time, you know, struggled with body image. And I let myself believe that I was fat, you know, for a very long time. And because I believed that, I actually got fat. And, you know, at my highest was 280 pounds. And, you know, in 2014, I said, I did this to myself, right? Because I looked back at pictures of myself that were just beautiful and looked really good. And I just remembered that, why did I think I was fat? I remember that I thought I was, and I wasn't. And so I did this thing to myself. And so now it's important for me to make that change for myself. It's like if I could, you know, do the things to basically wreck my body and become that reality of the fat person that I thought that I was, then I can turn things around for myself as well. So I spent from maybe October of 2014 to, you know, June of 2015, working really, really hard, you know, walking and going to the gym and exercising and, you know, doing all kind of things until I got to running and bike riding and, you know, just whatever it is that I could do from a physical activity standpoint, mostly cardio, to get all of that weight off. And I ended up losing 140 pounds. And I was amazed, like, oh wow, I'm so small, I can fit into these clothes that I never thought I would ever be able to fit in. And was, you know, I was actually wearing extra small clothes. But when I looked in the mirror, I still kind of saw this fat girl. And there were just all these imperfections that I focused on or still believed, you know. And so what I learned is you could transform your body, but you're never really going to be able to be satisfied with that transformation, that physical transformation, if you don't also have a mental transformation as well. You know, so for me, it's like, what are the tactics that I need to use to be able to change my mind about who I believe myself to be or how I see myself? You know, so when I went back and I looked at all these videos, I was like, man, I look good, because I still, you know, like I said, I still felt like that fat girl. And as a result, you know, after I lost 140 pounds, you know, after a couple years, you know, I ended up gaining back, you know, slowly and steadily, like 40 pounds again. So I got back up to 180. And at that point in time, I was like, okay, I gotta turn some things around here, do some things differently. And probably since then, maybe I've lost like 10 of those 40 pounds that I gained back. But, you know, it's because I still have that struggle. You know, it's like, why could I lose 140 pounds and do all that work and make all that steady progress, but then gain 40 pounds back, and I'm trying to do the same type of things, but I can't make the same type of progress that I made before? In that I have to recognize what's different here. And I think the difference is that I was still believing that I was fat, and because I still believed that I was fat, I still was, and I still had some voids in my life, and I was still going to food to fill those voids. And even though I could recognize what it is that I was doing to myself that was self-sabotaging, and it was just a little bit here, a little bit there, I wasn't stopping myself from doing that. I wasn't remaining true to who I want to be and how I want to be and how I want to see myself. So today when I look back at the pictures, I'm looking back at pictures or videos where it's like, okay, I'm 175 pounds, and I'm showing myself at 175 pounds, and I was like, I look damn good. What is my problem? Why am I worried about it? I shouldn't be. And I'm sure there are other people that would tell me too, like, oh, you look great. Don't worry about it. And so that's something that is encouraging. So I'm going to focus less on the scale. In fact, you know, I'm working out. I told you I'm doing this. I'm focused on positivity. I'm focused on doing the things that I need to do for myself. You know, all my fitness is not really about weight. It's really about mental health and being emotionally well and mentally well and spiritually well. When I spend my time with physical exercise, you know, it puts a certain stress on my body, but it's a good stress. And it's almost like I'm building my reserves for the strength that I need to be able to face life's challenges and obstacles. And 2020, as we all know, had a lot of challenges and had a lot of obstacles. And I'm just happy that I made it through, and I still have a smile on my face. And I think I had a smile on my face every day, you know. And so I want to continue with that. I'm going to continue to challenge myself. I'm going to continue to record, and I'm really excited about seeing what it is that this year brings, you know, just from, you know, an overall mental transformation, a transformation of the mind to really be positive, to see positivity in everything, to see the good in any and every situation and celebrate that, and to not get bogged down by things that are negative. You know, let me not let negative thoughts into my head. And if I do, let me be able to identify that right away and conquer it. So these are my strategies and coping mechanisms to making it forward. So regarding that 40 pounds, you know, do I want to get down to 140 pounds again? Maybe, maybe not. I'm just going to try to go forward and do things, be the best me that I can be, and determine if that's good enough, because I think my body will end up being wherever it's supposed to be, assuming that I'm doing the right things and being good to myself. So me being good to myself is committing to doing something good for my body every day, good for my spirit every day, good for my mental health every day, to eliminate as many opportunities for self-sabotage as I can. You know, so I have said no. I'm slowly but surely going to eliminate the things from my diet that I can tell physically don't agree with me. And so things that are high in sugar, they don't do a body good. So I don't, well, natural sugars are okay because I really love fruit, but things that have added sugar, I will probably I have been limiting those, but things that are high in salt or that are just, 0-calorie foods, I think I can avoid those as well. So for sure, I have committed to not eating candy, cookies, or chips. And I've also committed to not eating outside of the hours of 7 a.m. and 8 p.m. And then I'm going to see what that does for me. I'm still doing a mainly plant-based diet because since I lost all that weight, I had a gastric bypass surgery in 2014. And so really since I had that surgery, my body has done better with plant-based diet. A lot of processed foods, my body just wants to reject as well. So, turns out that foods that are high in fat and high in sugar, my body says, no, don't do it. Or, why did you do that to me? I'm gonna punish you for this. So I'm gonna be better about paying attention to how my body responds to things, and things that do not respond in a positive way, I am gonna reduce. So little by little, I'm probably gonna take bread away. That may be a hard one, so it may just be a gradual progression. I have been eating butter and cheese, so I'm not 100% plant-based, but I may slowly reduce, anything that's an animal product over time. But I'm not rushing it. I'll just take it one step at a time. And then I'm doing doing yoga every day. And the yoga that I'm doing is online. It's on YouTube, Yoga with Adriene. I love her. But she does like a 30-day thing every year that she's been doing for a long time. So I'm hoping I can do a different 30 days of yoga every single month this year. And during the month, I'm not gonna weigh myself or measure myself. And right as I get ready to start a new month, then I will. So I actually haven't measured myself or weighed myself in 2021 yet, and today's January 15th. So I'll probably do that on April 1st and then just do it the first of the month, every month, and just see how it goes. But all along the way, I will show my progress, and hopefully day by day as I post, I will hopefully always have something to smile about and be able to show where I am physically, just to remind myself not to have a complex about body image. All right, well, I have been walking and talking for 26 minutes, and I've walked 1.3 miles. So I think I am going to close this out for the day so that I can maybe walk a little bit faster to get to 2 miles before I do my yoga. Take care.